guys, Brad here again. So this is just going to be a short video this time, and all we're going to look at is how to tie hand wraps. So the first thing about hand wraps is they come in lots of different sizes. So we get 2 meters, 2.5 meters, 4 meters, and I think there's 4.5 meters as well. So traditionally with boxing, kickboxing, we want to get a lot of support on the wrist, a lot of support on the knuckles, because those are the two major parts that get a lot of punishment. Okay, so I'm going to choose a 4 meter hand wrap. What you find is with the smaller 2 meter, 2.5 meter hand wraps is that you'll do a couple of times on the wrist, a couple of times around the knuckles, but you won't be able to go through the fingers. And going through the fingers really just locks it all down, and you're able to get more wrap where you need it for that support. So I've got some 4 meter wraps here, and I'll show you how to tie them. So I've just changed my top just so you can see the hand wraps a bit easier. So these are my 4 meter hand wraps. Now when you get them out of the packet, they're kind of like this, so they're already wrapped all the way round and they're attached by the Velcro. But what we need to have to start actually wrapping our hands is the middle section where it loops over our thumb. So two things you can do is, one, you can just lengthen it all out and then start wrapping. But what I find is that once you've lengthened it out, is that it kind of gets in the way, and personally I like to have it already rolled up, so when I put it on it's not going everywhere and I can keep it nice and tight on my hand. So what I've done with my other hand wrap is already pre-wrapped it here. So I've already rolled these wraps out and I've rolled them back on themselves until I've got the thumb part at the top. And what you'll notice is as well, on these hand wraps, they've got like a marker to tell me which way up I want to start hand wrapping. If you put it on the wrong side, so if I've got this picture down on here, the Velcro at the end will be on the wrong side, so then I'll have to put a twist in the hand wraps, and that's when it starts to feel a bit uncomfortable. What you want to try and do is, as you wrap in, keeping it nice and flat all the way through. Okay, so loop goes over the thumb, and then I'm going to work to the back of my hand first. So I'm going to do 3 wraps around the wrist, and now you can do more around the wrist if you want to. It just depends on which is your weakest area, either your wrist or your knuckles. And then I'm going to go round once over the thumb here, and I'm going to go back round the wrist to just lock that bit down. Okay, then I'm going to go up to the knuckles here. I'm going to go over, round to the opposite knuckle. And what you'll find is some places will just say keep wrapping the hand. Now personally I don't like that. I like to have it just on the priority parts of the hand. You don't need it here or over the palm, just because it's going to provide no protection whatsoever. It's just going to tighten your hand up and you won't be able to make a fist properly. So I'm going to go up to the knuckle, down to the opposite knuckle, and I'm just going to wrap over that 3 times. 2, 3. Then I'm going to go back down on the back of my hand to the wrist, locking that down. Then I'm going to come up to the fingers, starting at the pinky finger, into the middle, up to the forefinger. And here we're going to lock that bit down so it doesn't start to ride up the thumb. So I'm going to go over the wrist here. So now it's pretty much done. So you can either go back up to the knuckle again to seal that off, or you can go around the wrist, depending on what is best for you. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the knuckle. I'm just going to go around once, back down to the wrist, just to seal it off. And I'm coming up to the end of the wrap now, and I'm just going to seal it off here. One thing you shouldn't be doing is wrapping all the way up your forearm. You don't need it. You just need it on the priority point, which is your wrist and your knuckles. So don't start wrapping all the way up here. It's going to provide no support. It's just going to get baggy and get in the way. So just finish off on the wrist here. And obviously repeat on the other hand. Simple. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Let's keep training.